Okay, so leading on from my previous video, which was about self-esteem, this is about boundaries. Why do we struggle to set boundaries? Why do I struggle to set boundaries? Why do you struggle to set boundaries? Are you someone that struggles to say no? Now, I'm not someone that struggles to say no. I'm training myself to say yes more. However, this isn't about me. So if you have a problem with saying no to people, setting boundaries, it is actually linked to self-esteem. But the root of it is what I'm going to go into now. Now, I'm not going to do this in one edit because I realized what I did last time was I was speed talking because I'm trying to get it all in before I say something wrong. So I'm going to edit this one so there will be little clips, snips in between. But hopefully it's going to be more beneficial for you and a lot easier for you to digest. So why do you have a problem saying no? It could be trust issues, it could be validation. I'm going to link it back to what I said in my previous video about a condition of worth. And it's from a very young age, it may have been that only when you did something good, you got recognition from your parents. And it was that recognition that made you feel safe. So you're chasing a feeling of being safe. And it could mean that perhaps if you thought about saying no, you don't really know what the outcome would that be. So that's kind of putting you in an unsafe environment, or what you feel to be an unsafe environment. And your brain, obviously, your brain does everything it can to try and keep you safe and to try and keep you from being challenged. It could be that as a child, when you did something that didn't get an immediate positive response from your parents or your primary caregiver, you had a very unsettling experience of what it was like to not actually please someone. Now, ideal world, as children, in my belief system, I believe that children should be brought up in an environment where they feel that they are free to explore regardless of what the outcome is going to be, and that they will always have a safe space to come back to with the primary caregivers, where the primary caregivers gave them unconditional positive regard, regardless of what they had been out and experiencing. So that's kind of like the ideal situation. So unless you grew up in that kind of environment, it's very likely that you would have adopted some conditions of worth, and you started adopting behaviors that you felt were ultimately going to make you feel safe. So the first question, I guess, to you would be, did you grow up in an environment where you felt that you could go out and explore the world, knowing that you had a safe space to come back to, knowing that you could come back to this space where you would be loved unconditionally and accepted unconditionally? What you can do about this, and it's something that I've done, it's something that I know other people have done quite successfully, is to channel that inner child, is to go back to that place when these behaviors started to develop. Now, I know it's very common practice these days. I'm all about being in the moment and not seeing life, not experiencing life through the lens of a camera. However, I would find it very difficult to go back to, bearing in mind these behaviors developed between, maybe 4 and 8, 4 and 7, something like that. I would find it very hard to go back to that place of being a 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old unless I had photographic evidence of that. Because photographic imagery is like, they're like time traveling ports, because you look at a photograph and it immediately can transport you back to that time transporters, I think that's what I'm trying to say. You could also do this, actually, you could also do this in some kind of guided meditation, where in a safe environment with a qualified professional, they took you back to those early child stages. You would definitely have to, I would say, definitely do this with caution, because you may tap into some kind of trauma that needs support, and you may not be actually ready to tap into that type of trauma. But definitely you could go to a level where you started to tap into that inner child through meditation, and start to feel what it was like when you were a 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old. So you'll be going back to a time when the conditioning was just starting, and then you can have a deeper insight into how you developed these behaviors that you still carry with you today. So to recap, if you have a problem saying no, it could be a trust issue. It could be that you don't trust what would happen if you say no based on some previous experience where you didn't please someone and it didn't work out well for you. Or it could be that you're looking for that validate, you're looking for that place of feeling safe. You know that if you just say yes, then you will feel safe. There'll be no conflict involved. And it's that feeling of safeness that is driving you, again, based on previous experience as a child. So I would say, if it's possible, try and channel the inner child. Now, my thing isn't necessarily about supporting people to channel their inner child. I'm guessing there's a whole host of information that you can find yourself, because I'm only giving you pointers. I'm not here to do all the work for you. This is about giving you a lead, showing you a path. You can step on that path, know that I'm with you, but you might need to look into ways that you can explore your inner child in a way that works for you. All there is for me to say now is to lead on from that. So when we find it difficult to set boundaries, feelings of guilt and regret can often arise from us not setting boundaries. It's like saying, oh my God, why did I say yes to that? So my next video, I'm going to cover the feelings of guilt and possibly regret that arise because we find it difficult to say no, and the situations we end up in because we find it difficult to say no. So I'm going to say a big thank you to @Van Tan Art. I got my first real bit of engagement yesterday. I've been doing this channel for a few months now, and it's not that easy because there's a real commitment to delivering material that I feel that people might find interesting. And thank you Van Tan Art for actually engaging with this. And I've had to look at your channel, and I picked up on, actually, there's a short aligning from your highest good and trusting the process. Now, actually, I could do something on that because it kind of links into manifestation and people manifesting things from their physical body. And actually, if you hand it over to your higher self, you manifest stuff that you couldn't even dream up yourself. So yes, I love that. Thank you so much. And yes, I'm going to post the next video on regrets, feelings of guilt and regret that arise from not being able to say no. Today is Monday, so I'm going to post that one on Thursday. Thank you so much. Peace, love, and I still haven't worked out how to do a light bulb sign. Love and light, in love and light.